Well, I'll tell you what, they're very bad. They're very bad indeed. I just think that, well, that for a start, you can stay on the page. Where are you? I mean, we sort of looked at it briefly, but 56% possession for Arsenal, 9 shots to 4, 3 on target to 2. The funny thing is, both goals are preventable. Arsenal have been the better team by a very long way, but both goals are completely preventable. Lloris has cost Spurs any chance in this game so far. Can Arsenal win the league next month? I don't think that will happen, Daniel. We're not even halfway through the league yet, so there's 57 points to play for. I think there's 60 actually, because we've only had 18 games, so there's still 60 points to play for. Long way to go, but they're in a very, very good shape, Arsenal. But Spurs, rubbish, absolute rubbish, terrible to watch, and they don't even get results with that. They're unpredictable in many ways, but they ain't getting top 4. I'll tell you now for free, Spurs ain't getting top 4. And I'm not saying that in the hope that, well, no one wants to get clipped up for being a twat, but, I know some people do that, Haaland's a flop and all this nonsense, but I don't do that, and I'm not doing it for that reason. I'm telling you now, Spurs will not get top 4. Newcastle are better than them, and I think Liverpool and Chelsea will catch them. I think they're dreadful. Man City will sweep them aside on Thursday. Arsenal have swept them aside now. They're just dreadful. They're dreadful. I looked at their starting lineup. Their back 5, their midfield is just workaholics. There's no creativity there. Their front 3 is very, very good, but where's the creativity? Harry Kane has to drop deep all the time. It's poor. It's poor from Spurs. And then they've got a goalkeeper that's cost them 2 goals. It's not a good mix. Odegaard deserves more respect. He's our best player in my opinion. Zinchenko has also been fantastic as Lachlan. I think Odegaard, and I've said it for a while, I think that Odegaard is arguably the best number 10 in the Premier League this season. I think he's been fantastic. We just saw somebody in the chat there. Very good point from V. Larson. He says, is top 4 already locked out? Well, who's going to get in? I'm a United fan, and I'm like, I worry about injuries. I worry about the fact that we're not even halfway through the season yet. So, of course, that could be a problem. But on the other hand, what about who's going to get it? I personally still think. I mean, Brighton aren't going to do it. Fulham aren't going to do it. Spurs aren't going to do it. Chelsea aren't going to do it. I think only Liverpool really. Golden Axe says it looks, it does. What a game that was, by the way. Top 4 does look locked. Yeah, I think the only team that could do it is Liverpool, and they don't look like they're going to do it either. So, yeah, I think it does look locked at the moment. And Joe says it's 100% done, which is amazing for Newcastle if it does happen. But, yeah, 10 points on Liverpool for Man United and Newcastle makes it very, very difficult indeed for anybody to get into that race. But, yeah, somebody just said in the chat, don't write off Spurs. Why not? Why can't we write off Spurs? They're bloody dreadful, and points on the board is going to be very important this season. But look at Spurs' last 6 games. They've lost 2, drawn 1. They're going to lose again. So after today, out of their last 6 games, if they lose today, they'll have lost 3, drawn 1, and won 2. It's not good enough. And then their next fixtures are Man City on Thursday, and then they've got Fulham away. And then they've got Man City again in the league. 2 of their next 3 games are Man City. So that's 2 losses. They've got Fulham away sandwiched in between that. Leicester away. West Ham at home. And then Chelsea at home. Wolves away. You sort of look at Spurs and go, I don't know where you're going to win. They finished last season very, very well. But last season they were playing good football, as I said in the first half. Son, Kane and Kulusevski scored more goals as a front 3 than any other front 3 between January and May last year. I don't think they'll score more goals as a front 3 than Harry Maguire at the moment. They just look rubbish. Absolutely bereft of ideas, creativity. I've always wondered this, and I don't know how many Spurs fans we've got watching. Why don't you have a number 10? Since Christian Eriksen, you've never really had a number 10. You had that Lo Celso, didn't you? But why have you not got a number 10? Why, I know Harry Kane drops deep, but he does it for England. There's still a number 10. Why don't you play with a number 10? Everybody else plays with a number 10 and you don't. You play with a back 5, and it is a back 5. A A back five can be offensive. Your back five is defensive. Your midfield two is defensive. So you play with a back seven and a front three. It's ridiculously incohesive and ridiculously, unentertaining. I just think that Spurs, whatever you think about Spurs, and I know there's more trophies in an IKEA cupboard than there is in a Spurs cupboard, but trophy cabinet. But the reality is, Spurs do have a way of playing. They always have had a way of playing. I remember Spurs very vaguely as a kid, Hoddle and Waddle. I remember in the 90s, they were a good attacking side as well. Terry Venables, Gary Lineker, Gascoigne, that was a little bit, early 90s. They've always had that, all the way through to Harry Redknapp when he had Gareth Bale. They've always been a team that, will concede 4 but score 3 maybe. Entertaining. I don't think this suits Spurs. Mourinho didn't suit Spurs, and I don't think Conte suits Spurs either. Our game against Arsenal will be very important. Win, we're in the title race. Lose, top 4, says Abhishek. We've got Palace first, by the way, mate. If we draw with Palace, we won't be in a title race. I remember Spurs. Yeah, I remember that after the World Cup, actually, with Klinsmann. They were an entertaining side then. They're just so drab. And I think it's a bit like United with Mourinho. When United got Mourinho, I think a lot of other people were like, I know Mourinho's football shit. I know he doesn't develop youth, but we need to reset the clock. He always wins the title. He'll only be here 3 years. As long as he wins the title, we reset the clock and we build again. He didn't. So then you've got a manager who you know is not going to play the football you want, and then he's not delivering the trophies you want either, and it goes sour very quickly. And I think Spurs on a different level have got that with Conte. He's a good manager. He normally wins things. It's now obvious he's not going to win anything, and the football's not good enough. In fact, it's exactly the same as what we had with Mourinho. You sort of sell your soul to win trophies. Mourinho did win the Carabao Cup and the Europa League, but it was the league we wanted, and we didn't get it. And when it became apparent that wasn't going to happen, and it all went toxic, it was time to go. And I think with Conte, Spurs are approaching that. Very, very good manager, but the football's rubbish, and you're not going to win anything. Is the league wrapped up because Arsenal are winning here and Tottenham are rubbish, says Dynamic. No, there's a long way to go, Dynamic. I think we'll know a lot more about this league after Arsenal have played United and City, which is the middle of February. Spurs have no midfield. Villa tore them to pieces, and now Arsenal are doing the same, says the HPN. And your defence is very crap as well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that Arsenal City game. It's February the 15th, which I think is a Wednesday, so we're about a month away from that. Yeah, really looking forward to it. I'm guessing you think United are in the title race, Mark, says Bedrock. No, I don't, actually. I don't. And I'll tell you for why. Because of this. I mean, you can't say... There's a contradiction going on here. And the contradiction is this. I hear people saying Liverpool can't get top 4, right? Liverpool can't get top 4 because they're 10 points off top 4, yeah? But United are in a title race, and yet we're 10 points off the title. You can't have it both ways. So I don't think we're in a title race. I think if we beat Arsenal and we beat Palace, there's pressure. But I don't feel we're in the title race yet. I think you can talk about it and potentially could they get into one, but I don't think we're in a title race at the moment. No, I think it's Arsenal title. You look at that league table. That's Arsenal's title to lose. That's as it stands. That's assuming Arsenal, because that's as it stands. They've got 47 points, but it's Arsenal's title at the moment. Yeah, but then the most important thing, and I think we're all guilty of this, is remember this. Because it's the middle of January, people are thinking we've had 23, 24 games, because we normally have. We've had 18 games. 19 games is halfway. We're not even halfway through.